When a disaster hits, we always see the flashing lights, we see the brave first responders running into danger. But behind all of that, there's this hidden system, a system that really determines whether a crisis is handled with control or if it just descends into chaos. So today, let's dive into that system. It's called Unified Command. Okay, so picture this. It's just after 7 in the morning, you hear this awful sound. A train has derailed. There's twisted metal everywhere, chemicals are leaking, and worse, a yellowish, toxic cloud is starting to drift, and it's heading directly for an elementary school where parents are literally dropping off their kids. The scene is just pure chaos. And this is the question that can make or break everything. You've got the police trying to shut down roads, the fire department trying to contain the spill, hazmat teams assessing this toxic cloud, and the railroad crew just wants to clear their tracks. So you have 4 different agencies with 4 totally different priorities. The question is, who's calling the shots? To really get why that question is so critical, we have to look at how things used to be done. And honestly, the old way was a complete recipe for disaster. It was often called the slice the pie approach. Just imagine each agency carving out its own little piece of the emergency, right? They run their own plan, they use their own resources, and they just kind of hope it all fits together in the end. It created confusion, wasted time, and left these huge, dangerous gaps. It was literally like having 3 different quarterbacks on the field, all calling a different play at the exact same time. But out of all that chaos, a completely new way of thinking started to emerge. It was a radical shift in how to think about leadership, one that turned competition into collaboration. And this is it, Unified Command. Now, this isn't about forcing everyone into a single chain of command. It's actually about bringing the leaders from each of those key agencies to the same table, to make decisions as a single team, agree on a single strategy, and work toward one shared goal, saving lives.
The best way to think of it is like a surgical team in an operating room. The heart surgeon, the anesthesiologist, the trauma specialist, they don't fight over who's in charge, right? No, they each bring their unique expertise to the table to save the patient. Well, in a big emergency, the community is the patient, and unified command is how those different experts all work together to save it.
This really represents a huge shift in mindset. The question is no longer, who's the single boss here? Instead, it becomes, who are the right leaders we need to manage this crisis together? Okay, so let's go back to that train derailment. How does this new plan actually hold up when there's a toxic cloud bearing down on a school full of kids? Well, in that first, absolutely critical hour, the Unified Command team set one immediate goal: keep people safe. That's it. So the police focused on evacuating the school, while the fire crews worked on containing the chemical leak. At the same time, the railroad coordinator was explaining exactly how to stabilize the train cars. So instead of 4 separate plans, they built one single strategy that coordinated everyone's efforts perfectly. And this kind of success, it's not an accident. It's built on 5 key features. You've got a single command structure, a shared command post where everyone works, one unified plan, because let's be real, 2 plans equals no plan, integrated staff working side by side, and coordinated resources, so everyone gets what they need when they need it. And the glue that holds all of this together, you can think of it as the 3 C's. Coordination meant nobody was duplicating effort, communication kept everyone on the exact same page, and consensus meant all the leaders quickly agreed on the number 1 priority: get those kids out of that school.
So, unified command looks great on paper. It sounds perfect. But real emergencies are messy. They don't follow a script. So what happens when the plan gets tested by reality?
As Mike Tyson famously said, a plan only works until it meets some real resistance. In an emergency response, that punch in the mouth comes in the form of pressure, stress, and, well, human nature. And this is where it can all fall apart. You get turf battles over who's really in charge. You have egos and big personalities clashing under pressure. You even have agencies hoarding their own resources. These are the real-world pitfalls that can absolutely derail even the best-laid plans. One of the biggest challenges is something you could call cultural collision. Think about it. Fire departments are action-oriented. They want to go, and attack the problem now. Law enforcement, on the other hand, is more methodical. Secure the scene, gather information. And a railroad? It's all about strict, rigid safety protocols. Without a unified structure, these different personalities can end up working against each other. So if unified command can be this fragile, what's the secret to actually making it work when it counts? How do you overcome all of those human barriers? And this really gets to the core of it all. Success in a crisis isn't luck. It's not about a few heroes improvising on the fly. No, it is the direct result of deliberate, intentional work that's done long before the sirens ever start wailing. The real work happens here. It's in the joint training exercises where different agencies learn each other's playbooks. It's in building personal relationships so you actually know the person you're calling in a crisis. It's in developing shared procedures so everyone knows exactly what to do. You know the saying, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your training. And all of this, every single bit of it, comes down to trust. Think of trust like currency. You can't just create it in the middle of a disaster. You have to build it slowly, over time, during peacetime. That way, when the chaos hits, you have a deep reserve ready to spend.
Ultimately, what that derailment in Riverside teaches us is that working together isn't just a good idea or, a smart strategy. In the kind of complex world we live in today, it's a matter of survival. So the only question left to ask is, how prepared is your community?